In the small town of Birmingham, Alabama, there was a popular hairstylist named Arkia Berry, known for her kind heart and warm smile. Arkia was loved by everyone who knew her, especially her family and friends. She had a 5-year-old son named Landon, who was her world. They were a happy family, and everything seemed perfect in their lives. But things were not as they seemed. Arkia was dating a man named Eric Ashley Jr., who had a reputation for being a little too controlling. The couple was seen together often, but no one suspected that there was danger lurking in their lives. One day, everything changed in an instant. The police received a call about a car accident in the Echo Highlands neighborhood. When they arrived at the scene, they were shocked to find something even worse than they had expected. Inside the car, they discovered that Arkia, her young son Landon, and her boyfriend Eric had all been shot. What happened? How did it all go so wrong? Arkia had just enough time before she died to send a message to one of her friends with the word Jocko in it. This message would lead the police to uncover the dark secrets of what had happened and who was responsible for this horrible tragedy. If you're captivated by real crime stories that peel back the layers of truth, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Your support means the world to us as we uncover real cases, raise awareness, and give a voice to the voiceless. Before we dive into today's story, we want to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? And how do you feel as the story unfolds? Welcome to Deadly Crime Unmasked, the show where we expose the shocking crimes that rip through communities and the chilling secrets lurking behind closed doors. These are real people, real events, real consequences. Don't forget to subscribe and activate notifications. You won't want to miss the gripping story that's coming up. Now, let's begin. Arkia Berry was 28 years old when she tragically lost her life. She lived in Birmingham, Alabama, and was well known for her skills as a hairstylist. Arkia was a hard-working woman who took pride in her work and loved making people look and feel beautiful. Everyone in her community knew her as a kind and caring person who always tried to help others. Arkia worked as a hairstylist, a job she truly loved. She had a talent for doing hair, whether it was braiding, cutting, or styling. People would come from all over to sit in her salon chair because they trusted her to make them look their best. Her clients appreciated how careful and precise she was with every hairstyle, and they loved her positive attitude. They didn't just see her as someone who did their hair, they saw her as a friend. Arkia made everyone feel comfortable, and she made sure her customers left happy. Even though Arkia was busy with work, her son, Landon Brooks, was always her number one priority. She loved him very much, and everyone could see how much she cared for him. Arkia was a single mother, which meant she worked hard every day to make sure Landon had everything he needed. She made sure he was always safe, happy, and loved. They were a team, and nothing could separate them. Arkia would often talk about how proud she was of Landon. She always said he was the sweetest, most joyful little boy. She enjoyed spending time with him, playing games, reading stories, and watching cartoons together. Arkia's love for Landon was obvious to everyone who saw them together. Arkia was known for her warm and welcoming personality. She made people feel good about themselves not just because of her hairstyling skills, but because of her kindness. She would greet everyone with a smile and always asked how they were doing. Arkia didn't just listen to her clients' hair requests. She listened to their stories and their problems. Her caring nature made her a good friend to everyone who knew her. She had many friends who admired her because she was always there when someone needed help, whether it was helping a friend with a problem, offering advice, or just lending an ear to listen. Arkia was the kind of person who cared about others. Her friends would describe her as someone who would go out of her way to make others feel special. People also knew Arkia as a hard worker. She didn't take shortcuts when it came to her job, and she made sure every task she did was done well. Whether she was working long hours at the salon or taking care of her son at home, Arkia gave her best effort every day. She always stayed positive, no matter how busy or tired she was. She had built strong relationships in her community, and many people looked up to her. Her clients didn't just trust her with their hair. They trusted her as a person. They knew they could rely on her for more than just a good hairstyle. Arkia was the type of person who went above and beyond to make people feel valued, and that made her even more special. Arkia dreamed of a bright future for her son, wanted to see him grow up to be a kind and happy person just like her. She loved watching him learn and grow every day, and she cherished every moment they spent together. Landon was her world, and she would do anything to make sure he was safe and loved. At just 5 years old, Landon had a big personality. He was always smiling and loved to make people laugh. He would often greet everyone with a warm and happy face. Even though he was young, his energy and positivity made a big impact on everyone who met him. People who knew him said he was one of those kids who could light up a room just by walking into it. Landon's world revolved around his mother. Landon looked up to his mom and was always happy to be around her. He was her little buddy, and they shared a bond that many people noticed. When Arkia had a long day at work, Landon would cheer her up with his funny stories or by showing her his latest drawing. His smile and laughter were like medicine to Arkia's heart, making her feel happy even when life was tough. Landon was curious about the world around him. He loved to explore and discover new things, just like most 5-year-olds. He was always asking questions about everything he saw. Why is the sky blue? Or how do fish swim? Were the kinds of questions Landon would ask. His mom would patiently explain things to him, and they would learn together. One of his favorite things to do was visit the park. He loved running around, playing on the swings, and making friends with other kids. Arkia would sit on the bench, watching him play, knowing that her son was happy and safe. It was one of the simple pleasures they shared. Landon also enjoyed watching cartoons and reading picture books. Arkia would read to him every night before bed, and Landon loved hearing the stories. He would listen closely to every word, his eyes wide with wonder. Landon had a favorite toy that he always carried around. It was a small, stuffed animal, a bear that Arkia had given him when he was just a baby. The bear was always with him, whether he was playing outside, going to bed, or even during car rides. It was a comforting presence for him. Sometimes, he would talk to Bear, telling it all about his adventures and what he'd learned that day. The stuffed bear was more than just a toy to Landon. It was his friend, his companion, and a reminder of his mom's love. On July 13th, 2024, Landon, along with his mother Arkia and her boyfriend Eric Ashley Jr., lost their lives in a violent shooting. The three were found in a car where they had been shot multiple times. It was a heartbreaking and shocking event that left many in the community devastated. Despite being so young, Landon had already made an impact on everyone around him. His cheerful spirit and bright smile had touched the hearts of those who knew him. Even though his life was cut short, the memories of Landon will always stay with those who loved him, especially his mom, Arkia. Landon's life may have been short, but was filled with love, happiness, and curiosity. His story reminds us of the importance of family and how much we should cherish the time we have with those we love. Arkia and Landon had a special bond that many people envied, and that bond was built on love, trust, and joy. Landon may have only been 5, but he showed everyone around him what it meant to live with a smile and a big heart. Even though Landon's life ended in tragedy, his bright spirit continues to live on in the hearts of those who knew him. He will always be remembered as a cheerful, curious little boy who brought happiness to the world. Eric Ashley Jr. was a 28-year-old man who became part of Arkia Berry's life as her boyfriend. On the outside, their relationship seemed perfect. Arkia was a popular hairstylist, well-liked by everyone she met, and her 5-year-old son Landon was the light of her life. But not much was known about Eric, except that he was Arkia's partner and had been with her for some time. Eric was an outgoing person, meaning he liked to talk and be around people. He wasn't shy and enjoyed spending time with others. However, there was a side to Eric that most people didn't see. He often had a short temper, meaning he could get angry very quickly. When things didn't go his way, he didn't always handle it well, and this made his relationship with Arkia complicated. From the outside, Arkia and Eric's relationship looked perfect. They seemed like a happy couple. They were often seen together, and people who knew them didn't think there was anything wrong. Arkia had a kind and caring personality, while Eric, though sometimes controlling, was a man who appeared to be in control of his life. But relationships are often much more complicated than they seem. While people saw Arkia and Eric as a happy couple, there were signs that things were not as good as they appeared. Eric's controlling behavior was one of the biggest problems in his relationship with Arkia. A person with controlling behavior tries to make decisions for others and expects them to do what they want, even if it's not fair. For example, Eric didn't always let Arkia make her own choices. He would often tell her what to do, who to talk to, and how to spend her time. This kind of behavior can make someone feel trapped and unhappy, even if they don't show it to others. People who are controlling may also try to isolate their partners from friends and family. This can make it harder for the partner to get help or support when they need it. Although we don't know all the details about Arkia and Eric's relationship, it is clear that Eric's temper and control played a big role in their lives. Eric's temper was another key part of the relationship that made it unhealthy. Having a short temper means getting angry easily. When people get angry quickly, they sometimes say or do things that they don't really mean. This could have created a lot of tension between Arkia and Eric. For example, there might have been arguments that started over small things, but because Eric couldn't control his anger, they became big fights. These fights might have made Arkia feel scared or uncomfortable in her own home, but no one knew for sure how serious things had gotten. Eric's temper made him unpredictable. One day, he could be nice and caring, and the next day, he could be angry and difficult to deal with. This kind of behavior can cause a lot of stress and confusion in a relationship. When someone is always unsure how their partner will react, it can be very hard to feel safe or happy. Despite Eric's controlling behavior and his short temper, Arkia stayed in the relationship. It's not always easy to leave someone, especially when there are feelings involved. But it's possible that Arkia didn't fully realize how dangerous things had become. Eric's behavior could have made Arkia feel isolated and confused. She might have felt like she couldn't get help because Eric would get angry or stop her from talking to others. This kind of behavior is a big red flag in relationships, but sometimes people don't see it until things get out of control. When Arkia's tragic death occurred, the police found out that Eric's past behavior might have been key to understanding what happened. Eric's relationship with Arkia, while seemingly perfect to others, was filled with tension, control, and anger. The fact that things ended so violently shows how dangerous controlling behavior and a short temper can be in a relationship. Not much was known about Eric Ashley Jr. before the tragedy. He was not as well known as Arkia, who had many friends and was a respected hairstylist in her community. Eric's background was more of a mystery. People who knew him said that he could be friendly and fun, but there were always warning signs about his behavior that were hard to ignore. Sometimes, people who are outwardly friendly or fun can have problems controlling their emotions or actions. This can make them hard to understand or predict. Eric seemed to be one of those people. He had a nice side, but his temper and need to control things made him a dangerous person to be around. Eric Ashley Jr. may have seemed like the perfect boyfriend to those who didn't know him well, but his controlling behavior and short temper led to a tragic end. Arkia and Eric's relationship was more complicated than it appeared. Eric's actions, though not fully understood, were a big part of what led to the terrible tragedy that took the lives of Arkia, her son Landon, and himself. By looking at Eric's background, we can see how controlling behavior and a short temper can destroy lives and relationships. This is a reminder that sometimes the people who seem the nicest on the outside can hide dangerous traits. It's important to pay attention to warning signs and to always seek help if you're in an unhealthy relationship. On a regular day in Birmingham, Alabama, Arkia Berry, her son Landon, and her boyfriend Eric Ashley Jr. left their home. They got into a car, seemingly heading to an unknown destination. No one knew it would be the last time anyone would see them alive. Later that day, police received a call about a car accident in the Echo Highlands neighborhood. Officers quickly rushed to the scene, thinking they were responding to a simple crash. But when they arrived, they found something much more disturbing. It wasn't just an accident. Inside the car were 3 people, all of whom had been shot. Arkia, Landon, and Eric had all been shot multiple times. The police were shocked. It wasn't just a car accident. They had stumbled upon a crime scene. Officers immediately cordoned off the area and began their investigation. They had no idea yet who was behind this terrible act, but they knew they had to act fast. Before Arkia passed away, she managed to do something very important. Despite the danger and the pain, she took out her phone and sent a text message to a friend. The message contained the word Jocko. This simple text would soon be a key piece of evidence. The police took note of it and began investigating the meaning of the word. They didn't know at first who Jocko referred to, but it seemed like it could be a clue. Arkia's final moments were now a part of the mystery, and the text message seemed to point towards someone named Jacorian Deshawn McGregor. Arkia's ability to send this text, despite everything happening around her, gave the police an important lead. The word Jocko led them to a man who would soon become the prime suspect in the investigation. The police started looking into Jacorian McGregor, who was 25 years old. McGregor was known to have connections with both Arkia and Eric, though it wasn't clear at first how deep those connections were. The police began to investigate his background, hoping to uncover more details that would explain why he might be involved in the shooting. It didn't take long for the police to discover that McGregor had been in contact with Arkia and Eric before the crime took place. They found that he had communicated with both victims in the days leading up to the murder. This was a strong clue that pointed toward McGregor's involvement in the crime. Next, the police turned to surveillance cameras in the area. Many streets and buildings in the neighborhood had cameras, and they began to check the footage to see if anything had been caught on tape. It didn't take long before they found something that confirmed their suspicions. The surveillance footage showed a green Kia near the scene of the crime. The car was seen driving close to where Arkia and her family had been shot. This was another big clue, as the car matched a vehicle linked to McGregor. It was not a coincidence. The green Kia was McGregor's car. This was the breakthrough the police needed. With the green Kia on the footage and the text from Arkia leading them to McGregor, the pieces of the puzzle were coming together. McGregor had been near the crime scene, and the evidence was beginning to point directly to him as the person responsible for the deaths of Arkia, Landon, and Eric. At this point, the investigation was moving quickly. The police had collected a lot of information, but they still needed more evidence to make an arrest. They dug deeper into McGregor's past, looking for anything that could explain why he would want to harm Arkia and her family. They also checked his phone records and searched his home for any other clues. During their search, they found more evidence that tied McGregor to the crime. His phone records showed that he had been in contact with both Arkia and Eric before the murder, and the police found items at his house that suggested he had been involved in illegal activities. After collecting enough evidence, the police finally arrested McGregor and charged him with the murders of Arkia, Landon, and Eric. He was taken into custody and is now facing serious charges. The investigation into the tragic death of Arkia, her son Landon, and her boyfriend Eric shows how important it is to follow every clue. From a mysterious text message to the footage of McGregor's car, the police work hard to uncover the truth. Though the case is still ongoing, the evidence against McGregor continues to mount, and it seems clear that he was involved in the terrible events that took place that day. The investigation revealed that McGregor's involvement stemmed from a violent and unpredictable situation. The reasons behind his actions were still unclear, but it seemed that the relationship between Arkia, Eric, and McGregor had reached a breaking point. In every crime, there is always a reason behind what happened, even if it's not immediately clear. In this case, the investigation into the deaths of Arkia, her son Landon, and her boyfriend Eric uncovered some surprising details about what led to the terrible event. The reason why Jacorian McGregor, also known as Jocko, was involved in this crime was tied to a violent and unpredictable situation. The investigation team worked hard to piece together everything that happened before the shooting, but the full picture took time to uncover. Eric and Arkia had been in a relationship for some time, but there were signs that it was not always a happy one. Eric was known for his controlling behavior. People in the neighborhood noticed that he sometimes got angry and seemed very possessive of Arkia. He did not always treat her kindly, and this created problems between them. Even though they were together, it seemed like their relationship was full of tension. At the same time, Arkia and Eric's connection with Jacorian McGregor, the man who would later be charged with their deaths, added to the complicated situation. He had been in contact with both Arkia and Eric. While the details of their relationship were unclear, it was obvious that McGregor had an ongoing involvement with Arkia and Eric. The investigation showed that McGregor's involvement in the crime started from this place of tension. Even though the reason why he took such a violent action wasn't fully explained, it was clear that the situation between the three of them had reached a breaking point. McGregor's relationship with both Arkia and Eric seemed to be one of constant conflict. It was like a powder keg waiting to explode. The investigation team could see that McGregor had been in touch with both Arkia and Eric leading up to the deaths. These conversations were part of the lead-up to the violence that would occur later. Somewhere in the weeks or days before the crime, the situation became dangerous. The investigation revealed that McGregor, Eric, and Arkia were involved in an argument or fight that got out of control. This argument seemed to be the final straw that led to the tragedy. McGregor, in a fit of anger, decided to take matters into his own hands. He acted in a way that no one could have predicted. But even though McGregor's involvement was clear, the full reason for his actions was still unknown. Why did he think it was okay to hurt Arkia and Eric? Why did he decide to involve himself in such a violent act? The answers were hard to find, and the police were left trying to understand McGregor's mindset. In the days leading up to the tragic deaths, there were no signs that anything extreme was about to happen. However, the final moments before the shooting painted a clearer picture. Arkia, in her last moments, was able to send a text message to a friend. The text contained only the word Jocko, a clue that would later point to McGregor. It was clear that she knew something was wrong and possibly feared for her life. This was a sign that something had gone terribly wrong in the days before the crime. McGregor's phone and other pieces of evidence revealed that there had been tension in his relationship with Arkia and Eric. These tensions had been building for a while. McGregor's involvement in the crime seemed to be a result of all this unresolved conflict, which finally reached its breaking point. Even though we may never fully understand the exact reasons behind McGregor's violent actions, the investigation showed that the motive came from a combination of anger, jealousy, and a long-standing conflict between him, Arkia, and Eric. The relationships between these three people had fallen apart, and what started as small issues grew into something much larger and more dangerous. McGregor's actions were the result of this violent and unpredictable situation. He made choices that led to the tragic deaths of Arkia, Landon, and Eric. The day that Arkia and her son Landon were killed, the community in Birmingham, Alabama, was shocked. Everyone who knew Arkia was heartbroken. When the news of their death spread, people who knew them couldn't stop talking about how this had happened. How could someone so kind, a mother who loved her son so much, lose her life in such a horrible way? The whole community was asking the same question. Why did this happen? People started coming together to remember Arkia and Landon. They held a vigil to honor them. A vigil is when people gather together to remember someone who has passed away. It was a time for everyone to think about the good memories they had with Arkia and Landon and to show support for their families. Even though Arkia and Landon were gone, the people in the community promised to keep their memories alive. But even as people mourned, there was still a lot of work to do. The police had to find out exactly what happened that day. They needed to understand why Arkia, Landon, and Eric Ashley, Arkia's boyfriend, had been killed. Was this something that could have been stopped? It was also hard for police to understand why McGregor would hurt a young child like Landon. Children are innocent and should never have to suffer like this. This was one of the hardest parts of the case for everyone to understand. The police worked very hard to uncover the truth about McGregor's reasons for killing Arkia, Landon, and Eric. The investigation continued. Imagine walking on a sunny afternoon. You hear laughter from nearby homes. But then, something happens that no one expects. A loud noise, people shouting, then silence. This story happened in a quiet neighborhood in Lakewood, Colorado, a state in the United States. On February 28, 2023, it was just after lunch, around 1:30 p.m. On that day, a 21-year-old woman named Melanie Massay, who was also pregnant, was shot and killed in the middle of the street. Melanie was not alone. She was with a man. He got shot too, but he lived. Melanie didn't survive. Her baby did not survive either. Who would do this? And why? That's what the police and her family wanted to know. When they started asking questions, they found 7 people involved. 7. This was not a robbery. It was not an accident. It was a planned attack. Some of the people who helped the plan It were teenagers. One was as young as 16. Melanie's story became a big case. People talked about it on the news. The police worked day and night. They caught 6 of the 7 people in just a few months. But one person ran away. He hid for 2 years. In March 2025, the last suspect was caught. His name is Isaac Amir Pieri. He was found in Aurora, another city in Colorado. Now that all 7 suspects are in custody, Melanie's family wants answers. But first, who is Melanie Massay? If you're captivated by real crime stories that peel back the layers of truth, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Your support means the world to us as we uncover real cases, raise awareness, and give a voice to the voiceless. Before we dive into today's story, we want to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? And how do you feel as the story unfolds? Welcome to Deadly Crime Unmasked, the show where we expose the shocking crimes that rip through communities and the chilling secrets lurking behind closed doors. These are real people, real events, real consequences. Don't forget to subscribe and activate notifications. You won't want to miss the gripping story that's coming up. Now, let's begin. Melanie was a daughter. She had a mother who loved her. Melanie was also going to be a mother. She was pregnant when she died. She was expecting her first baby. That means she had a baby in her belly. But sadly, she and the baby died before the baby was born. Melanie was a normal girl. She liked many things. She loved music. She liked to listen to songs. She liked to dance. She enjoyed good food. She smiled often. People who knew her said she had a kind heart. Melanie lived with her family. She had a good relationship with her mother. Her mother said Melanie liked helping people. If someone needed help, Melanie was ready. She liked to share. She was friendly. She had friends who cared about her. She was not alone. She had people in her life who wanted to see her happy. Melanie was happy about becoming a mother. She was planning for her baby. She was thinking about names. She wanted to raise her child with love and care. She had plans for work. She wanted to work hard and give her baby a good life. She talked about getting a better job. She talked about saving money. She wanted to be ready when the baby came. Melanie had big dreams. She wanted to finish school. She wanted to do more in life. She said she wanted to buy a small house one day. She said she wanted her baby to have a good school. She wanted to teach the baby right and wrong. Melanie's friends said she was funny. She made people laugh. She liked taking pictures. She posted happy photos online. She liked wearing nice clothes. She took care of her hair. She liked to look neat. She liked to walk around her neighborhood. Melanie was not in trouble with the law. She was not part of any gang. She was not a fighter. She did not hurt anyone. She minded her own business. She stayed with her family or friends. Melanie was not rich. She did not have a car of her own. But she worked. She did her best. Sometimes she worked in small jobs. She cleaned houses. She helped people move things. She sold clothes online. She saved her money. She was trying to do the right thing. Before she died, Melanie told her mom that she was scared. She said some people were acting strange around her. She did not give names, but she felt something was not right. Her mom told her to be careful. Melanie said she would be fine. She believed things would be okay, but things were not okay. On February 28th, 2023, in the middle of the day, Melanie Massay was walking on Zephyr Street. She was not walking alone. She was walking with a man. He was a friend. On that day, something very bad happened to them. While Melanie and the man were walking, a car came. It pulled up near them. The car did not just drive by. It stopped. That means someone in the car had a plan. Inside the car were people. These people were not there by mistake. The police later found out that there were 7 people involved in what happened next. That means 7 different people worked together to make something bad happen. This was not an accident. The people in the car came there with a plan. They wanted to hurt someone. They brought guns. They aimed those guns at Melanie and the man walking with her. Then they fired the guns. That means they pulled the triggers. In just a few seconds, everything changed. Melanie was hit by a bullet. She fell to the ground. She did not get up again. The man who was with her was also shot, but he was lucky. He did not die. He was hurt, but the doctors were able to save his life. Melanie was not so lucky. She died right there on the street. The police and ambulance came, but it was too late. The baby inside Melanie also died. 2 lives were lost on that day, Melanie and her unborn baby. The people in the car drove away after the shooting. They left fast, but the police started looking for them right away. At first, no one knew who did it, but soon, police found out that 7 people were involved. These people helped plan the attack. Some of them were young. Some were teenagers. First, the police checked cameras. Many houses have small video cameras outside. Some stores and traffic lights also have cameras. These cameras can see people walking or driving. They can even record what happens. The police looked at these videos. They watched the day and time when the shooting happened. They saw a car drive up. Then, they saw people get out and run. They saw people shooting. These videos helped the police understand what happened. They could see what kind of car it was. They could see what some of the people looked like. The cameras did not show everything, but they helped a lot. Next, the police went to talk to the neighbors. They knocked on doors and asked people, "Did you see anything?" Some neighbors said, "Yes, we saw people running." Some said, "We heard gunshots." Some even saw the car drive away. The police wrote down what everyone said. These are called witness statements. Sometimes people see different things. One person may see the car. Another person may hear voices. The police put all the pieces together like a puzzle. After talking to people, the police use a smart tool. They track phones. Everyone has a phone. Phones connect to towers. When someone sends a message or makes a call, the phone leaves a trace. The police use this to find out who was near the crime scene. They checked which phones were close to the place where Melanie was shot. Then they looked at who those phones belonged to. That's how they started getting names. Soon, the police had names. They started looking for the people who were there during the shooting. They found 6 people. These were the first 6 suspects: Monty Hayes, Ray-Asia Hollins, Trinity Walker, Dejana Abrams, Drayla Taylor, Jalea Burks. These people were arrested. The police said they helped in the shooting. Some helped plan it. Some were at the scene. They were all taken to jail. There was one person the police could not find. His name is Isaac Amirpieri. The police say Isaac was also part of the group, but he didn't wait to get caught. He ran away. No one knew where he went. He did not stay in the same city. He left Lakewood, Colorado. He did not call his friends. He did not use his real name. He was hiding. The police did not stop. They looked for 2 whole years. They checked his pictures. They watched his old social media accounts. They followed tips. Sometimes people would say, "I think I saw him in this city." The police would go there. But Isaac was not easy to find. Finding one person in a big country like the United States is hard. He could be anywhere. He could change how he looks. He could move to another city. He could stay inside all the time. But the police didn't give up. In March 2025, the police finally found Isaac. He was in Aurora, Colorado, a different city for where the shooting happened. He was arrested. He was taken to jail. Now all 7 suspects are in custody. Isaac faces serious charges. These include first-degree murder, attempted murder, assault with a deadly weapon. Why do you think it took so long to catch the last suspect? This case made people ask many questions. Why did this happen? Why would anyone shoot a pregnant woman in the daytime? Why did they want to hurt Melanie? The police believe that the shooting was planned. It was not random. That means the attackers chose Melanie on purpose. Maybe they were angry. Maybe there was a problem between them. But whatever the reason was, it led to 2 people dying. The 7 people who the police said helped to plan and carry out the attack on Melanie Massay. They are called suspects. These 7 people are the ones the police arrested. Monty Hayes is one of the suspects. Police say he was part of the group that helped plan the shooting. They believe he worked with the others to find out where Melanie was. Then they say he helped carry out the attack. Monty was caught by police not long after shooting. He was put in jail and is now waiting for his trial. Ray-Asia Hollins is another suspect. Police say she was also involved in the plan. Ray Asia was with the group on the day of the shooting. Police think she knew what was going to happen and did not stop it. Ray Asia was also arrested soon after the crime. She is now facing serious charges, just like the others. Trinity Walker was part of the group too. Police say she played a role in the shooting. That means she helped make the plan or was there when it happened. Police say that being part of the plan makes someone just as responsible, even if they did not shoot the gun. Trinity was caught and is now in jail waiting for court. Tyana Abrams is another name on the list. Police say she was involved in planning the ambush. An ambush means surprising someone to hurt them. It usually happens fast. Police believe Tyana knew what the group wanted to do. She did not tell anyone. She helped. Now she is also facing charges for helping the murder. Drayla Taylor is one more person police arrested. Police say she helped the group. She was part of the plan and did not stop it. Being part of a plan to hurt someone is also against the law. Drayla was found and taken by the police. Now she is also waiting to go to court to find out what will happen next. Jalea Burks is the sixth person in the group. Police believe she was part of the ambush too. They say she worked with the others and may have helped them get ready. Even if she didn't pull the trigger, being part of the team means she is also responsible. Jalea was arrested and will go to court like the others. Isaac Amir Pieri is the seventh suspect. He was the last one to be caught. After the crime, he ran away. Police looked for him for 2 years. He was finally found in Aurora, Colorado, in March 2025. That is far from where the crime happened. Police arrested him right away. He now faces the same charges as the others. His bond is $1 million. That means he must pay a lot of money to get out of jail before trial. If he doesn't pay, he stays in jail until court. All 7 people were taken to jail. After they were arrested, the next step was going to court. Going to court is where the police and the judge try to find out what happened and decide if someone broke the law. First-degree murder. This means that they planned to kill Melanie on purpose. It was not a mistake. They thought about it, made a plan, and then did it. The law says this is one of the worst crimes anyone can do. Attempted murder. This means they also tried to kill another person during the shooting. The other person was a man walking with Melanie. He got hurt, but he did not die. Trying to kill someone is still a very serious crime, even if the person lives. Assault with a deadly weapon. This means they use a gun to hurt or try to hurt someone. A gun is called a deadly weapon because it can kill people. Using it to hurt someone is against the law. Each of these crimes is very serious. If the court finds them guilty, they could go to jail for a long time, maybe even forever. In court, there's a judge who listens to all the facts. There are also lawyers. One lawyer works for the government and tries to prove that the suspects did something wrong. The other lawyer works for the suspects and tries to prove they are innocent. The court listens to witnesses, looks at videos, and hears from the police. When everything is heard, the judge or jury makes a decision. The court case is still going on. That means the judge has not made a final decision yet. It takes time to look at all the facts. But the suspects are still in jail or under watch until the trial is complete. What kind of punishment should someone get for planning to kill a person? Should they go to jail forever? Should they say sorry? Should they get another chance? Melanie Massay is no longer here. Her mother is still here. Her name is not mentioned in all reports, but she is Melanie's real mother. She is the one who raised Melanie. She is the one who now speaks for her daughter, because Melanie cannot speak anymore. Melanie's mother has spoken to people on TV. She has spoken to news reporters. She has told the world about her daughter. She said Melanie was a kind person. She liked music. She liked helping people. She loved her unborn baby. Now, Melanie's mother is asking the world to remember her daughter. She says, please don't forget Melanie. She says, please don't forget what happened. She wants people to remember that Melanie was only 21 years old. She wants people to remember that Melanie was pregnant. She wants people to remember that Melanie was shot in the afternoon on a sunny day in the street. She wants people to remember that 7 people were part of the crime. Not 1, not 2, but 7. Melanie's mother wants justice. That means she wants something to be done about it. She does not want people to move on too quickly. She wants the police to do their job. She wants the court to do its job. She wants all the suspects to face punishment. She does not want any of them to walk away free. She wants them to answer for what they did. All the suspects have now been caught. The last one, Isaac Pierre, was hiding for 2 years. Police found him in March 2025. Now he is also in custody. That means he has been caught and cannot leave. The court will decide what happens to all of them. But while the court does that, Melanie's mother keeps talking. She says this is not only about her daughter. It is also about the baby. Her unborn grandchild was also lost. That is 2 lives taken in one day. So now Melanie's mother says, I want justice for my daughter. I want justice for my grandchild. I want people to know what happened. I want people to care. She goes to interviews. She talks to news reporters. She stands strong. She does not stop talking. She believes if she keeps talking, people will keep listening. She believes if people keep listening, then people will not forget. And if people do not forget, then maybe this will not happen again. She is asking for justice. She is asking for answers. She is asking for change. She does not want to hurt anyone. She just wants the truth. She just wants what is fair. She is doing what any mother would do. She is doing what any grandmother would do. She is speaking for the one who cannot speak. She is speaking for Melanie. She is speaking for the baby. She is speaking for justice. And now, she is asking you to listen. If you were Melanie's family, what would you want to happen next? Would you want the people who hurt her to be punished? Would you go to court to watch the trial? Let us know in the comments. On June 12, 2020, a celebration that was meant to be a joyful event turned into a tragedy. Tyana Johnson, a 19-year-old girl full of dreams and hopes for the future, was celebrating her graduation in Shoelace Park, the Bronx. She had just finished her associate's degree, a huge achievement in her life. Friends and family gathered around her to congratulate her, but in a shocking twist, gunmen burst onto the scene and started shooting into the crowd. The celebration of life turned into a scene of chaos and horror. In the blink of an eye, Tyana's life was taken. She was shot multiple times, including once in the head, and later died at the hospital. 3 others, including 2 teenagers, were also injured but managed to survive. What was meant to be a night of happiness became a nightmare that left everyone in shock. Who would do such a thing? Why would anyone want to take the life of a young woman who had so much potential and a bright future ahead of her? The question still lingers, and the search for answers continues. But for now, we know this. Tyana's life was cut short, and the shooter is still out there, leaving a community grieving and demanding justice. What happened that night? And why did it happen to Tyana? If you're captivated by real crime stories that peel back the layers of truth, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Your support means the world to us as we uncover real cases, raise awareness, and give a voice to the voiceless. Before we dive into today's story, we want to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? And how do you feel as the story unfolds? Welcome to Deadly Crime Unmasked, the show where we expose the shocking crimes that rip through communities and the chilling secrets lurking behind closed doors. These are real people, real events, real consequences. Don't forget to subscribe and activate notifications. You won't want to miss the gripping story that's coming up. Now, let's begin. On June 12, 2020, something very bad happened. A young girl named Tyana Johnson was having a graduation party. She had just finished college and wanted to celebrate with her friends and family. The party took place in Shoelace Park, which is a public park in the Bronx, New York. People came to laugh, dance, and have a good time. But around 11 p.m. when it was dark, something scary happened. A silver car drove up near the party. 2 men came out of the car. They had guns. Without saying anything, they started shooting into the crowd of people. Many people ran to hide. Some people fell down because they got hurt. Tyana was shot. She was shot 5 times. 1 bullet hit her in the head. She was taken to the hospital quickly. The doctors tried to help her, but she died. 3 other people were also shot. 1 boy was 15 years old. Another was 16 years old. One man was 24 years old. These three people survived, but they had to go to the hospital too. Police came to the scene. They started to look for the gunman. The two men had already driven away. No one knew why they did it. No one knew who they were. The police started an investigation. Tyana Johnson was only 19 years old. She was a college student. She lived in Seymour, Connecticut. Seymour is a small town. Tyana lived there with her family. Tyana was smart and worked very hard in school. She studied at Monroe College. She finished her associate's degree. That means she finished the first 2 years of college. She was very proud of this. Her family was proud too. That's why they had the party. Tyana had big dreams. She wanted to become an entrepreneur. That means she wanted to start her own business. She had ideas to help people and make a better future for herself. She had plans to go back to college and earn a bachelor's degree next. She wanted to learn more and grow. People who knew Tyana said she was kind and caring. She helped others and liked to smile. She was focused and liked to reach her goals. She did not cause trouble. She stayed on the right path. She believed in doing her best. Tyana had many friends. Her family loved her very much. They supported her dreams. They came to the party to celebrate her success. No one thought anything bad would happen. That night, the park was full of people. Music was playing. Food and drinks were being shared. Everyone was having fun. Tyana was happy. It was her big day. Then the car came. The two men jumped out. They did not talk. They pulled out guns. They started shooting. People screamed and ran. Some people dropped to the ground to hide. Some were hit by bullets. Tyana could not get away in time. The bullets hit her body. One bullet hit her head. She fell. People tried to help her. Paramedics came and took her to Jacoby Medical Center, but her injuries were too bad. She died at the hospital. The police began to look for the gunman. They checked video cameras near the park. They found a video that showed a man they wanted to talk to. They shared this video with the public. They offered a $10,000 reward to anyone who could give information. People were scared and sad. They wanted to know why it happened, but there were no answers. The shooters had escaped. The police did not know if Tyana was the target or if it was random. Tyana's family was very shocked. They had just been celebrating. Now, they had to plan a funeral. Her mom, Natasha Allen, said that Tyana had not even started her life. She said Tyana did not deserve to die. Today, the police are still trying to solve the case. The shooters have not been caught. The investigation is still open. People want justice for Tyana. They want the shooters to be found. Many people remember Tyana. They say she was special. They want her story to be told. They want the world to know what happened to her. Why do you think the gunman did this? Tyana Johnson was smart and worked hard in school. She went to a school called Monroe College. It is a college where students learn different subjects and prepare for jobs. Tyana studied very well and finished her associate's degree. An associate's degree is a special paper you get after 2 years of college. It means you passed all your classes and did a good job. Tyana was proud of herself. She wanted to do more. Finishing her associate's degree was just the beginning. She had big plans. She wanted to go back to school and get her bachelor's degree. A bachelor's degree takes 2 more years. It is a higher level than an associate's degree. Tyana wanted to learn more and become better at what she loved. Tyana did not want to stop at school. She also wanted to start her own business. She talked about becoming an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is a person who starts their own company or business. They work for themselves and sell things or offer services. Tyana had ideas in her mind about how she could help others with her business. She wanted to make her own money, help her family, and be successful. She said she would work hard and never give up. She had a dream and was planning step by step to make that dream real. First, she finished her associate's degree. Next, she would go to college again for her bachelor's degree. After that, she would start her business. That was her plan. Tyana's family and teachers were proud of her. They saw her studying, going to class, and doing her homework. She stayed focused. She didn't let anything stop her from learning. Even when things got hard, she kept trying. She was the kind of student who came early, listened to her teachers, and asked good questions. She wanted to understand everything. Her favorite subjects were business, math, and writing. She liked learning how money works. She liked planning things and writing about her goals. Tyena knew that starting a business needs good planning and smart thinking. That's why she paid attention in class and took notes. She wanted to be ready for the real world. Outside of school, Tyena would talk to her friends about her business ideas. She told them she wanted to open something new, something helpful, maybe a small shop, maybe an online store, maybe a service for young people. She didn't know yet exactly what kind of business, but she knew she would start one. She said, "I want to make something of my own." She was also saving money. She wanted to use that money to help pay for school and for her future business. She looked for ways to learn outside the classroom, too. She watched videos, read books, and asked older people for advice. She was curious and wanted to learn more every day. Tyena was not lazy. She used her time well. When she was not in class, she was reading or thinking of new ideas. When other kids were playing around, she was planning. She didn't waste time. She believed time was important, and every day was a chance to grow. Her dream of becoming a business owner was big, but she had a plan to reach it. School first, then more school, then a business. That was the order. She was doing everything right. She was on her way. But then, something very sad happened. Just after she finished her associate's degree, she had a graduation party in a park. She invited her friends and family. They came to celebrate with her. It was supposed to be a happy day. But someone came to the park with a gun. That person shot into the crowd. Tyena was shot and later died at the hospital. Her plans, her dreams, and all her hard work were stopped that day. This story shows that Tyena was not just a regular girl. She was someone with goals. She loved learning. She wanted to start something great. She had a path. She followed that path with clear steps. Even though she is no longer here, her story shows the power of education and planning. Tyena wanted a better life, and she was doing all the right things to get there. Tyena was focused. She had goals. She wanted to help others. She wanted to make her family proud. She also wanted to show other young people that they could reach their goals too if they worked hard. She had plans and was working to make them real. Tyena had a kind personality. She smiled often and treated people with respect. Her family and friends liked being around her. They said she had a good heart and big dreams. After the shooting, Tyena was quickly taken to the hospital. The hospital was called Jacoby Medical Center. The doctors there tried to help her, but it was too late. Tyena had been shot 5 times. One of the bullets hit her in the head. The doctors said she was dead. She did not make it. The people who were at the park were very confused. Many were scared. Some were crying. Others were running and looking for their family members and friends. It had been a happy party just a few minutes earlier, but now there were sirens, police cars, and people lying on the ground. It was a scene of fear and panic. No one expected something so bad to happen during the graduation party. Right after the shooting, the New York City Police Department, also called the NYPD, started working on the case. They wanted to find the people who did this. They went to the park and looked for clues. They spoke to people who saw what happened. They checked security cameras nearby. The police found a video from a camera that showed a silver BMW. In the video, 2 men were seen getting out of the car. They were holding guns. These men started shooting into the crowd and then quickly got back in the car and drove away. The police shared this video with the public. They hoped that someone would recognize the car or the men in the video. The NYPD also offered a reward. They said they would give $10,000 to anyone who could give information that would help them catch the shooter. They wanted help from the public. They needed someone to speak up. There were many questions about the shooting. Why did the men come to the park? Why did they shoot at people during the celebration? Some people thought the gunmen came just to hurt someone at the party. Others believe it was a random shooting. No one knew for sure. The motive or the reason behind the shooting is still unknown. No one has been arrested yet. The community was shocked. Many people in the Bronx could not believe what happened. Tyena was only 19 years old. She was a student. She had just finished her associate's degree from college. She had big dreams. She wanted to start her own business and go to a 4-year school next. People said she was smart, kind, and worked very hard. After the shooting, many people in the area asked for justice. They wanted the police to find the shooter. They wanted the person who killed Tyana to be punished. People also talked about the need to stop gun violence. They said parks, parties, and schools should be safe. They said children, students, and families should not have to worry about being shot. Many called for more safety in their neighborhoods. They asked leaders to do something to stop the violence. Tyana's family was deeply affected by her death. Her mother, Natasha Allen, said she was heartbroken. She said Tyana had a good future and did not deserve to die. She talked about how Tyana was working hard and staying focused on her goals. Her mother said she still can't believe her daughter is gone. Tyana's friends were sad too. Many of them said they looked up to her. She helped others and stayed out of trouble. She wanted to do good things in life. Her classmates remembered her as smart and friendly. People shared photos and videos of her online. They wrote messages saying they missed her and would never forget her. Even people who did not know Tyana personally were touched by the story. They said it was unfair that a young woman who was doing everything right could be killed while celebrating her success. Her death reminded everyone how quickly life can change. It showed how dangerous violence is and how it can take away someone's future in just one moment. The community, her family, and her friends are still waiting for justice. They hope the person who did this will be caught. Her mother, Natasha Allen, could not believe what had happened. She said, Tyana didn't deserve this. She was just 19 years old. She didn't even live her life yet. Tyana was her only child, and she was very proud of her. Natasha said Tyana worked hard in school and was excited to continue her studies. Tyana had just finished her associate's degree and wanted to start her own business one day. Natasha said her daughter was smart, kind, and always tried to do the right thing. Losing her was a big pain for the whole family. People in the neighborhood were also shocked. Tyana was known for her good behavior. She never caused trouble and always had a smile. Her friends said she made everyone feel better. Many people who came to the party to celebrate her success ended up crying together because they had lost someone who was important to them. Even though Tyana's life ended too soon, people still talk about her today. Her teachers remember her as a girl who never gave up. Her friends remember her as someone who always helped others. Tyana wanted to make the world better, and she worked hard every day to reach her goals. Tyana's dream was to open her own business. She talked about helping young girls in her community to go to school and follow their dreams too. Her dream didn't come true, but her story is still making people think about how to live with purpose. Her family says they want people to remember Tyana not for how she died, but for how she lived. Even people who didn't know her personally now know her name. They see her picture and hear her story in the news and online. Some people have started talking to children in schools about staying safe and staying away from violence because of what happened to Tyana. The police are still looking for the person who shot Tyana. No one has been arrested yet. A video from that night shows 2 men in a silver BMW car, but their names are still not known. Tyana's family is still waiting for answers. They want to know who did it and why. They say it's not fair for the shooter to be free while Tyana is gone. People in the Bronx are also speaking out. They want justice. They say it could have been their daughter, sister, or friend too. The community is asking important questions. Why did this happen? Who brought a gun to a party where people were dancing and smiling? Why is it taking so long to catch the person who did this? Tyana Johnson was a young woman with big dreams. She wanted to help others. She wanted to be her own boss. She wanted to go to school, work hard, and make her mother proud. She didn't get to do all the things she planned, but the way she lived her life is still important. Her story shows how someone young and hopeful can still be taken away by violence. She didn't do anything wrong. She was just at a party with her friends and family. This story reminds people that we need to make our communities safer. People should be able to celebrate without fear. Families should not lose loved ones to gun violence. If you know something, say something. Tyana's family still needs answers. The police are still looking. Tyana's life mattered, and her story is not finished until justice is done. If the story gripped your heart and left you questioning the truth, don't forget to hit that like button and share with others who need to hear it. For more chilling true crime stories that dive deep into the mysteries behind these tragedies, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell. You won't want to miss our latest updates, investigations, and thought-provoking discussions. Thank you for being part of this journey with us as we uncover the truth and seek justice. Together, we can make a difference. Stay safe, stay aware, and we'll see you in the next one.